All right, go ahead, answer the first question. Fill in the blanks to print the value of x 5 times. Create a while loop while num, which is 0, is less than 5. Console write line x, and then num plus plus to increase it by 1. All right, answer the next question.
Did you send the link?
Yeah. Oh, Kevin already sent it. Thanks, Kevin. Drag and drop from the options below to create a valid okay, I think they mean infinite loop there, but no, they're saying finite loop. Okay, I guess this isn't infinite anyway. Yeah, okay, I guess they do mean finite. But anyway, for int x equals 0, x less than 10, x plus plus. Go ahead, do the next one. All right, select all the correct statements about and or operators. A or B is true if either A or B is true, A and B or C is true if C is true. Okay, yeah. Fill in the blanks to calculate the sum of all whole numbers from 1 to 100 for x equals 1, x less than equal to 100, x plus plus, and then increasing the sum by the number. Oh, I should have given you a chance to do this one. What is the value of x after this code? X equals 4, y equals 9. So the modulus of x divided by or module y by x not equal to 0. And then here's the if else statement. So it's saying if this is true, which if you divide x by, or sorry, y by x, it doesn't go evenly because there's one left over. So it would not be 0. So this is true. So then y divided by x, well, y divided by x is 2 because the remainder doesn't get included with C#. All right, go ahead. Well, we'll go ahead and read this one. Jacob, can you read this one?
Yes, you are, sorry, multipliers of 3. You are an elementary school teacher and explaining multiple multiplication to students. You're going to use multiplication by 3 as your example. The program you are given takes n number as input, write a program to output all numbers from 1 to n, replacing all numbers that are multiples of 3 by times start.
Mhm.
And then it has the sample input 7, and it has the sample output is 12, 54, 7, or sorry, 45 and 7.
Okay. So go ahead and work on that. Don't Google it, and well, there's no C solution. So just and if you get stuck, then we'll help walk you through it at the end, but just do your best to do it. All right. Oh yeah, and raise your hand once you're done. Is anybody confused on what it's asking and just needs help with that? Or is everybody just still working on it?
Brendan, I have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
Is this something that like a for loop would handle? That's where I'm starting with that, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, yeah. For loop's what I used and it works fine. So
Okay.
yeah. Oh, a hint though, Mike. So if with your for loop, if you're gonna start your x at 1, right? Because the first thing it wants you to print is 1.
Right.
Then with your condition, it's going to have to be, number plus 1. And also, since it wants it all on the same line instead of console right line, you're just going to do console right. So hope that.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it.
Uh-huh. Okay. A few of you are done. So let's go ahead and have somebody who's still working on it do share screen, and we'll help you out. Mike, are you back? Okay, he must still be away. Does somebody else want to volunteer to do share screen? Who's still working on it?
I'll do it.
Okay. Okay. Well, so you got a good start there. But your for loop, so remember for loops in C# are more like for loops in JavaScript, where you set your variable, and then you divide the next one by putting a semicolon, and then you put your condition, and then you put your incrementer, right? So you've got your well, first of all, you don't need that line 12, so you can comment out or delete that line 12. Okay. And then so with your for loop, you can actually create variables. So with that n is fine right there, but then you're going to want to put your well, you don't want to increment it by 1 yet. So let's take off that plus plus and just have, n equals 1. Okay, so we have our first condition. Good, we've got our variable set. Now, what do you think you're going to want to put for the condition? Like how much should the loop run to? You're muted, Brian.
Multiples of 3. So I would say, yeah, just 3.
Well, so what it actually wants is when it's talking about n, it's talking about the number that it gets given. So like in this example, it takes the input of 7, right? And then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if it was like 9, it would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? So it's going until it gets to whatever number was given as an input, right? And it's just along the way, like if it encounters a 3, a 6, a 9, anything that's multiple of 3, instead of printing the number that it's currently on, it's going to print a star instead, right? So so now what do you think you should put for your like for your condition?
Gosh. Well, I wouldn't want to make it infinite.
Right.
And if it's only sampling out 5 numbers, so 5.
Well, no, I'll just help you with this one. You're going to want it to go until it equals whatever number they gave you. So while n is less than number is what your condition is going to be, except since we're starting n at 1 instead of 0,
Yeah.
you're going to want it to be while n, actually, if you just do equal to, or
So
while n is less than or equal to, and then put number.
and then you want the plus over here.
Yeah, so then there you'll put your n well, n plus plus, because we're gonna increment n. Okay, so then you've got it good going there with your uh your if statement, because you've got your if, n modulus 3 equals 0.
Mhm.
What you want it to do is, if it's equals 0, then you're going to want it to print the star, because that means it's divisible by 3, right? So we're not putting n there. So we're going to put yeah, the star. And then what do you think we would do next to be able to print the um
Well, you gotta print n.
right, exactly. So how do you think, how would we go about that? So if it's divisible by 3, but what if it's not?
So you need an else statement.
Perfect. So yeah, go ahead and put your else statement.
And then that would be a console right, and then it would be the n.
Perfect. Okay, go ahead and run that. Uh,
Right line, console dot right line.
no. Right, he's right with console right. It's just we didn't put. Okay, so you put at the end of line 14, you put a semicolon, and it needed to be the brackets, and then we need to put the closing brackets. Oh, at the very end, after the else statement, or like after it, like on line 20.
After everything.
Yeah. There you go. Now hit run.
Oh,
And
there
you
we go.
All right. Does anybody else need help with that one? Nope. Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing there.
What was that? What was that?
I think I got mine wrong.
Are you saying you need help? I couldn't really tell what you said.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying that I got mine. That's an error.
Oh, you got an error? Okay. Do you want to do screen share?
Okay. Which one is it?
Okay. Yeah, you did the same thing as him, where you got the you put the semicolon at the end of line 15, and it needs to be curly brackets.
All right, curly brackets here.
Uh-huh. Oh, it needs to be the opening curly bracket.
Another curly.
Well, yeah, well, you're gonna get rid of that curly bracket and just put the opening one. Oh, and you're missing your closing parentheses. Yeah. Okay. And then delete that closing curly bracket, because when you created the opening one, it automatically put the closing, so delete that closing one. And then on line 26, put your closing one. And then on So now let's go back to your for loop. So you've got your n equals 1 and you've got your incrementer, but your incrementer needs an extra plus. And then we need to do the condition. So before the n plus plus, put another semicolon. And then let's click in between those two. No, click in between the two semicolons. And then here's where you'll put your condition. So let's do while n less than equal to number. Or sorry, you don't need to put wow. I just mean just put n less than equal to number. Well, no, you gotta write the word number. Because we're referencing that. See on line 11 how we've got number. That's the number that we're referencing. Okay, so now go ahead and hit run. Oh, well, I think the right line might mess it up, but we'll see. Hit run. Oh, you need to make the C capital. Okay, and hit run. Huh. Okay, well, it wasn't all on the same line like theirs was, but it took it, so that works. All right.
I noticed that on the other one, I guess you could also do right, but someone mentioned about right line there, but I think that from what this class, the program always use the word right line. Now is that a problem if somebody just use right
No, 'cause
and no right line in there?
I used right and Brian used right. So what the difference between right and right line is right will continue writing it on the same line, right? But right line goes just like a break statement, right? It like goes to the next line and then writes. So that's kind of the
So
difference.
it's just not a matter of an error, just a matter of semantics there.
Yeah, and I mean it would matter if you were trying to program it and you wanted it all on the same line. But apparently for their testing purposes, they don't care between right and right line, so whatever. Okay.
Okay.
Does anybody else need help with this one? Anybody have any questions on this one? Okay. Okay, and I did mine a little bit different, so I'll show y'all. But so one, instead of, I could have done the equals, but I just did while x is less than number and then plus 1. Since we were starting at 1, that's just another way to do it. But then also instead of doing modulus x equals 3 and then printing the star, I did if not modulus or x modulus 3 equals 0, print x, just because I don't know, that's how I felt like doing it. But anyway, same thing, just slightly different way of doing it. Tim, can you read this one?
Yes, hello, good afternoon. What is a method? Question mark. A method is a group of statements that perform a particular task. In addition to the C# built-in methods, you may also define your own. Methods have many advantages, including reusable code, easy to test, modifications to a method do not affect the calling program. One method can accept many different inputs. Every valid C# program has at least one method, the main method. Thank you.
All right, so methods, same thing as functions in JavaScript and Python. So go ahead and answer the first question. Every C# program starts with the method main. Mike, can you read this one?
Yes, declaring methods. To use a method, you need to declare the method and then call it. Each method declaration includes the return type, the method name, and optional list of parameters. For example, the following method has an int parameter and returns the number squared. The return type of a method is declared before its name. In the example above, the return type is int, which indicates that the method returns an integer value. When a method returns a value, it must include a return statement. Methods that return a value are often used in assignment statements.
There's a little more.
Oh, sorry about that.
No worries.
Occasionally, a method performs the desired operations without returning a value. Such methods have a return type void. In this case, the method cannot be called as a part of an assignment statement. Void is a basic data type that defines a valueless state.
So you'll see this a lot. Like you'll see static and void and all this stuff in here, but here's your introduction to void. It's just if you're not doing return, like normally, Python, we just do a function and you either return or you don't. Well, they want to know whether you're going to return or not. So return something or not. All right, go ahead and answer the next question. If you do not want your method to return a value, you should use the return type void. Trisha, can you read this one?
Yeah. Calling methods, parameters are optional. That is, you can have a method with no parameters. As an example, let's define a method that does not return a value and just prints a line of text to the screen. Our method entitled say hi returns void and has no parameters. To execute a method, you simply call the method by using the name and any required arguments in a statement. The static keyword will be discussed later. It is used to make methods accessible in main.
Okay, so this one, we're creating our method. Doesn't return anything, just prints hello, and then later in main we can go ahead and reference it, and so it's just a function, same thing as Python.
Now, got a question.
Yeah.
I did a basic C# test on my Visual Studio here, and I noticed that it cleared out my where it says using system and all those beginning tags, and it went straight to just having you input or write your code. Then I was trying to see there's something wrong with my configuration. Then I read somewhere Windows that the latest versions of how .NET Windows is doing that, is trying to make it easier for just write their code that we don't have to worry about all the lines that comes with it, like the using system and namespace in the class. Is someone that I read that wasn't always necessary. So if you look at my my Visual Studio as an example, it doesn't have all those on there, but when I write something, it takes it, and there's no issues. Trying to figure out if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, if they're updating it to include all that stuff that you're going to be using anyway, so it's just default and you don't have to type it out for it to work, then great. I mean, they update programs all the time. Like Python's constantly being updated. Like that's why we're on like Python 3, like 11 or 12 now. And C Sharp's the same thing. You know, it gets updated as well. And so if they're gonna update it and make things easier, then great. But yeah, does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, go ahead and answer the next question. All right, fill in the blanks to declare a method that does not return a value and displays welcome to the screen. Static void, greet, console.writeLine, welcome, and your closing bracket. Sandra, can you read this one?
Calling methods. You can call this same method multiple times. Run the code and see how it works. Fun with methods, complete a given method and call it in order to output the required statement.
Yeah, so methods you can call as many times as you want. If you need to, that's the whole point of them, is to write once and use multiple times. And generally, you'll be passing stuff into the methods to make it different, and that's why you call them. But I mean, if you just have some task that needs to be performed, I mean, you can call a method that doesn't have anything in there, any variables passed into it. But all right, so go ahead and start the practice and then raise your hand once you're done. All right. So a lot of you are done. So let's go with somebody who is not done. Mike, do you want to do screen share? Mike, are you there? Oh, well, Mike left, so he's not there. Jacob, do you want to do screen share?
Yes. Super record. I just finished it, so
Oh, okay, never mind. Sandra, do you want to do screen share?
I'm still catching up from yesterday.
Oh, okay. Mark, do you want to do screen share?
I wasn't able to finish it. Had to go and pick up my daughter, but I only got to the part where I got console not right with the whatever was put in the parentheses, and I was getting errors, so I was trying to figure that portion out.
Oh, okay. Oh, are you driving right now or something?
Yeah, I'm driving right now.
Oh, okay, never mind. Brian, do you want to do screen share? Oh, you did finish it.
Yeah, my hand's up.
No, it's not.
Is it not up?
It's not. Oh well. Well, anyway, this is how you do it. So, good job. All right. Yeah, that's all I want you to do is just have the function, right? This is my first method, and then call the function, and that's what he did. So good job. All right. Moving on. Okay, drag and drop from the options below to declare a valid method and call it in main. So static void and func console.write test. And then in the main, we just call the function. And there you go. All right. So that is a good place to end for today. So I'm going to log off and log right back in.